second and less countdown. Get in position and be prepared for the information. Alrighty, we are on our final 30-second countdown before we begin this exciting and informative call. Guys, again, go ahead and grab something to write with, something to take some notes with. Make sure all of your business partners have made their way to this call. We are getting started.
The recording has been started.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to all of our partners and guests here with Paycation Travel that are calling in from literally all over the globe. My name is Donnie Wiggins. I am an international executive here with Paycation Travel out of Atlanta, Georgia, and I am incredibly excited to be your host on tonight's live international CEO update call, ladies and gentlemen. This call is always very exciting, very informative. You want to be sure that you have something to write with so that you can retain this information as we're about to hear from our CEO himself. For all of our brand new partners that are out here, let me just give you some information. Our founder and CEO has over 25 years of direct sales and network marketing experience. He's actually a highly accomplished sales distributor, and what we love most is that we call him a compensation plan design specialist, and all of our partners should know exactly what we mean by that. This gentleman is so valuable in this market that he's actually hired as a consultant for other companies in the industry just to make sure that their business plan is also solid. Without further ado, I'd like to bring up to the line none other than our founder and CEO, Mr. David Manning. Sir, have you made it onto the call?
Hi, Donnie. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I hear you perfectly.
All right. Well, I appreciate the introduction, and congratulations to you on the success you're having. And I know you're knocking down the door to Executive Diamond, so I can't wait to give you that award. So appreciate you bringing me on the call tonight. Well, I want to welcome everybody to the call tonight. Man, numbers were up great the last two nights. Our recruiting's up. Travel's definitely up. Holy cow. May was a record-breaking payout. We set history. It was our biggest payout on the travel side that we've ever had. Many of you know right now, we've through Paycation and all the connections and the things, we drove Extreme Travel to over $100 million travel company. We're on our way to become a $1 billion travel company. And many of you know, we also want to be a $1 billion network marketing company. We're a legacy company, both in travel and in networking. And tonight, I want to talk a little bit about some things we've done to kind of help that along. Many of you were out in Atlanta for the big national convention. Matter of fact, over 5,000 of you were out in Atlanta. And you got a chance to hear from Rick Walk, our MLM attorney on stage. And many of you know, we're in an industry that literally changes daily, changes monthly, different rules, different compliance rules. And so, man, with where we're at right now with our growth, when you start talking well over 35,000 people hitting Facebook, hitting Twitter, it's a time that we can become our own worst enemy. I mean, growth is great, but it's so important that when new people get involved, maybe people that have never been involved in network marketing, it's very important that we start laying the foundation not only on how to build your business, how to reach the next step of success, how to get to the four-step system, how to get to the conference call, how to get on the next big pending event, whether it be a trip, whether it be a cruise, whether it be a resort. But it's very important also that they understand the rules and regulations that we have to go by here in our industry. Because just one post out there could get seen by the wrong person, and then we get that phone call. And even though we've got the best legal counsel out there, matter of fact, we have two different firms. We were just with one of the biggest firms here in Dallas last week, Gardner & Wins. We met with them. Jane Ferguson, who's been in the industry numerous years, one of the top attorneys. And it's basically, I'm constantly getting people to look and tweak and help with our wording and make sure we're on the right road to becoming that legacy company, and we don't get any hiccups or anything that happened that we don't plan on. The next step we've taken, it's an impossible situation for myself or Mark Campese or customer support to really follow up and do all the things that have to be done for us to stay in compliance and to help the field understand. Because, as I say, it's a changing industry daily. And so we have now put under contract, put on staff, Julie Lascalera. Julie, you'll be meeting Julie here in the next week or two. I'm going to have her on a call. Over 20 years experience in the compliance area. She's worked with some of the top attorneys. She works with startup companies. She's worked with companies in major growth. Some of the top companies out there handling their compliance department, and also just making sure that she's on top of all the rules and regulations. She's now come in-house for us, and we'll be looking basically daily, weekly at Facebook, at Twitter, at all the things out there. And I've had a chance to meet with her, talk with her. Some of the things she told me I should already just touch on out there to make sure everybody understands, because we do have meetings going on all over the country. And before we get to our training tonight, I just want to say, one, make sure when you put flyers together, when you're advertising an event, a Super Saturday event. Now, we know we have major groups out there, the Avengers, the Commission, other groups out there. The thing is, now sometimes they do their own, like the Avengers, they got a big flight school coming up. Well, that's great. On that particular flyer, though, it's the Avengers Flight School. It'll also have Paycation Travel's logo on there because it's a Paycation Travel event. They're going to be giving out a lot of awards, milestones, and there's other teams that do that same thing. Well, that's great to talk about your team in that capacity. But when it's a Super Saturday, whether it be in North Carolina, South Carolina, Atlanta, Baltimore, Caribbean, Bermuda, the UK, it is a Paycation Super Saturday, a Paycation event. And on those, we have people coming from numerous teams. We have people coming in, that might be from totally different states flying in. So on those particular flyers, when you're advertising a major Super Saturday event where you've got people coming from all over, different teams, and you want to pitch those as a Paycation event, always the logo of Paycation Travel needs to be on there, or the name Paycation Travel, so everyone knows. We get, Ginger tells me we get calls at the home office and asking, well, is that a Paycation event? And there's a lot of companies out there that do Super Saturday events and big regional events. So we want to make sure it says Paycation Travel Event or Paycation on it. Now, you can get it approved. We're going to put up some approved flyers. There's some great flyers out there you guys are doing. I was looking at some that were sent over to me today. And, man, some of them are just awesome. Some of them you just need to add Paycation Travel to it. Also, when you're talking about who's coming or who's speaking, whether it be President Mark Campese, whether it be CEO David Manning, whether it be International Diamond, Mark Sterling, or Donald Bradley, or Presidential Diamond Donald Bradley, or VP of Marketing Spencer Iverson, whoever, Jonathan Green, the list goes on and on and on. I was looking at some of the events right now. We got Shedrick and Trey Harris and a lot of the leaders hitting the country out there. Put your title on there, and that's all needs to be said. It can be International Diamond. It can be Executive Diamond. Whatever the title is, I highly suggest you don't overload it with pictures. Put 2 or 3 key pictures and really beef up where it's at. And then we're going to get a Jason. Many of you know Jason now at the home office. He's not only putting up the new they're working on the Travel University, but putting up the new recognition area. And we're also putting up a calendar so that people can actually go and say, oh, where's all the events this weekend? And they can start planning ahead. Same thing with our trips. We're going to start putting our trips up. We've got the, I think we have like 12 or 15 cabins left. Matter of fact, we had 2 more that had declined. So at this point, we're canceling anyone that was declined, so that we can resell those cabins. But we only have about 15 left. This is a Bahamas getaway. You do not want to miss this event. So for those new people that have just got involved in the company, for new people coming in on your teams, you want to really lock them into Paycation. I remember Mark Sterling was telling me just the other day, he said what really locked him in was when he got to the big Barcelo event we did at that beautiful 5-star resort. So you get your people on a trip. We've got the Oasis of the Seas, okay, on October 21st. We've got the December 13th. We've got a beautiful trip on the luxury ship on Celebrity Cruise Lines, and that's a 5-day. And we've got some unbelievable pricing on that. That includes all of the drinks, alcohol. Everything is included in the package, which is unheard of. So we're putting that up on Monday. That only has 200 cabins, so it's first come, first serve. And then we're doing the El Dorado getaway. Now, we're trying to figure out exactly how many rooms we're going to lock down for that. That'll be a September event. And we're deciding right now, we're going to make that a diamond getaway. What are we going to do with it? But we've got a phenomenal price on it. So I know no matter who we offer to, whether it be diamonds or whether it be the whole field, it's going to be first come, first serve. And the pricing is unbelievable. As always, if you haven't been to the El Dorado, it's one of our favorite properties. And, man, we need to have at least one or two annual events there every year. And I'm already getting emails, can we do the Barcelo again? That was absolutely incredible. So, yes. And then we've got something for 2016 already lined up that we're going to be breaking news on. And let me just say it's a charter. And, wow, it's going to really, really be a trip of a lifetime. What I want to do right now, guys, so we talked about the flyers a little bit, marketing materials. Remember, there's only Paycation Pro is our marketing system. And for those that are out there, they call in, they're asking customer support. No, you cannot create your own marketing materials. If you have something, the business card or whatever, yes, you can get it approved. I've asked Jason to also put up some samples of business cards of what you can say as far as extreme travel. You do not put your IATA card. Now, I know Lori covers all this. So we're going to be covering the marketing materials. Once again, we have the Extreme Store, which sells marketing materials. In the back office, we got a big banner going up for all of our apparel. And those are the only two stores that are allowed to sell any type of marketing materials, period. And we ask you, help protect the company. If you know of anyone out there, hey, email customer support. Just tell them, is this an approved place to buy the materials? Next, right now, let me tell you guys, in this industry, I've done this training probably on 20 conventions around the country at different times. And every time, used to when I was a consultant, when I went in as a trainer for different companies, when I really wasn't attached to any one company, when I got called in, a lot of times they would say, hey, can you do your 10 steps to success, or can you do the landmines? And tonight I want to do the landmines because I think it's crucial to where we're at right now with Paycation. In this industry, for those new people out there, for those people that are trying to figure out, okay, how do you become the 5,000, 10,000, 100K a year earner, $1 million a year earner? Yes, it's based on how many people do you get involved in the business, but more than that, it's based on how many people can you keep in the business. And in the old days, I don't want to date my age, but in the old days, everything was face-to-face. You always heard of the napkin pitch. You'd meet up somewhere at an IHOP or whatever, and you'd crank out the napkin, start drawing the comp plan. Well, now with iPads and iPhones and all the smart equipment out there, you can literally make the pitch anywhere in the world with the click of a button. And you might get people involved, but it's so important that once you get them involved, you take the responsibility of just tying yourself in with that person. See, the hard part is getting them in. But once you get them in, that's when you can't relax. That's when, and especially we call it the crossroads, it's the first 90 days. Because I can promise you, everyone that gets in this business, it's proven that the majority of the people make the decision in the first 90 days, are they going to stay in the business or are they going to quit? And I promise you, once they quit, good luck ever getting them back. And so that's why you've got to learn to listen to your downline, talk to your downline, talk to the people you personally get involved so you can hear what they're going through. You know, they may have run into someone that's negative on network marketing. You know, I always say those are ignorant people. They don't understand our industry. But maybe they've talked to a family member, whatever. And you want them to you want to be there to help them with their answers. If you're new to the business, you want to be looking for someone upline in your organization when you go to a meeting, or call the person that put you in and say, hey, who put you in the business? Who's upline that I can have if I have to make a phone call or a three-way call to have someone help me with some questions I don't understand how to answer? And if you don't have anybody like that, you can email the home office, customer support, and we'll look upline. We'll find a diamond. We'll find someone that's out there doing meetings that's willing to help the people out there that have these kind of questions. So just go to your back office and put in that help desk ticket. But when you get people involved, and I'm going to run through what I call the landmines. You know, if we ran Iraq during the war or wherever, if you knew where all the landmines were, you see people getting blown up over there. If they knew where they were, they would never step on them, and they would never, you know, have a crisis to where they just blow up. In this industry, it's the same way. There's landmines out there, and if you listen to your downline, you'll know when they step on one of these. And the biggest reason most people quit is, number one, it's called lack of information or false information. Big example. We had someone call the home office. Actually, they sent a ticket in, and Fernando come in and he said, is this true? And I looked at it, and it said, I've already reached regional. I have my personal 6 recruits. I understood now I don't have to pay the $69.95 anymore. But yet it was auto-deducted. Okay, see, that's false information if that's what they really thought. So we responded back that you're auto-deducted once you start earning more than $69.95 a month. So very important that if you don't know the true information, you make sure you get them to Fast Start orientation, you get them to a call, and I would definitely say calls. We have phenomenal leaders out here, diamonds, international diamonds, executive diamonds that are doing calls on a weekly basis, and that they're sharing their information, their success, and they're willing, if you'll just get your people to the call, get them to that 4-step system. Spencer Iverson does a phenomenal job every time we do a big convention, showing that system and showing people what they need to do to really lock people in. So make sure they not only get correct information, but they get all of their questions answered. Very, very important. Number 2, write this down. No follow up. Now, this is when you work hard to get someone in the business and you just forget about them. They're in now. And what happens is, if they don't hear from you in that first few days, like I'm talking about information, the odds are they're going to quit. And no follow-up is the biggest reason that your people will leave. Or they'll send a ticket into the home office saying, I want to be moved. You know, I haven't even heard from my enroller. Well, we don't move people around. There's always someone upline to work with someone. But the thing is, be sure and follow up with your people. You know, if I got you started in the business today, first of all, as soon as I see that email saying you joined, you're either getting an email from me or you're getting a quick phone call that says, hey, Mark, hey, congratulations, man, I saw you just signed up. You do have my cell phone number, right? Have you seen any? Have you gone to your website yet? See, start getting them into action. And just say, hey, be sure to check out the 4-step system. Go to your website. If you've got any questions, I'm here for you. I'm going to call you back tomorrow. I would literally touch base every day for the first 3 or 4 days with my new prospect that joined. Because they're going to have questions. They're going to have things come up, and follow up, showing them that you're there for them is the best thing you can do. And you can't prejudge anyone. You can't think, oh, you know, this guy doesn't deserve a lot of my time. This girl doesn't deserve a lot of time because I don't think she's going to do anything. Let me tell you, I have recruited people that I thought were going to retire me, were going to make me rich, and they don't do anything. And I've recruited people, truthfully, recruited one of my nephews one time and his wife, who lived in a very, very small town. I almost felt guilty because they came to a meeting without telling me, and they got excited, wanted to join. And that company, it was $4,000 to join as a supervisor. I hated asking them for the money. And they become two of my top people in a town that probably didn't have a population of more than 4,000 people. So you never, ever know. So you want to follow up with everybody and continue to follow up so that you're right on top of them whenever they have a question or they've got a complaint or whatever it is, so that you can help them. Or maybe make sure they're talking to someone, because it leads right into number 3, which is goals. Every time I used to get someone started in the business, first thing I wanted to know was, well, how many hours a week can you put into the business? See, a lot of people have a full-time job. And you want to tell them, I want to get you to where you can work the business full-time. I want to help you walk away from corporate America. That's our goal here. But you don't want them walking away until they're ready, because there's nothing worse than having the stress of worrying where you're going to get the money for your next light bill, electric bill, internet bill. So the thing is, you want them to have a goal and a realistic goal. See, a lot of times we pitch people on to making $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year, whatever. Let me tell you something. The average person in America still makes less than $27,000 a year. So if you just start showing a person how they can make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month, let me tell you, when they get there, their goals and dreams will get higher. But that needs to be the first thing, is find out what their goal is. Sometimes you have to listen, but what is their need? Is it paying for daycare? Is it making the car payment? Is it getting an extra car? Is it sending the kid to college? What is that goal? And once you find that goal, and you say, okay, let's work towards that. See, now they've got a vision, they've got a direction, and you can start guiding them, and you can start working with them, and it also helps you. So when you call them back and you say, can I help you with any 3 ways tonight? Or have you, how many people you talked to? And they say, oh, I've been so busy. And you can say, Mark, remember that goal? We were gonna replace the money that helps you pay for that car payment. You told me you had 10 or 12 hours a week. The week's gonna be over. I want you having success. I want in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we achieve that first goal. But if they don't have a goal, they have no direction. They don't know where they're going. And so, most important, and if you don't have a goal, and I always like to tell people, it's nice to have that short-term goal, but I love for people to commit. You've heard me on stage. What is your 5-year goal? See, this is not a get-rich-quick. If you find a company that's get-rich-quick, you need to run. But I can tell you, more people are making more money, having more success in their first year in our business than any company I've ever been involved with or worked with as a consultant. More people, not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. I was talking to Peter Hurst today. I said, look at this payout and how many people are making between $1,500 and $4,000 a month. It was incredible. See, that kind of money is the kind of money that helps people walk away from corporate America. Now, it's nice to see those 10, 15, 20,000 a month and more. But it all starts with getting some people to $500 and $1,000 a month, and then letting their goals and dreams. But lock them in for 5 years. You don't want them thinking, I'll give this thing 60 days. No. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Because wherever they work, if you ask them where will they be with that job in 5 years, 1, they got to hope the company's still in business. 2, they got to hope they weren't laid off. And 3, if the economy is good, they might be making an extra 4 to 10% of what they're making. When here, people get off to a fast start taking action. Matter of fact, we're putting back up the Top Dog Awards. When those Top Dog Awards are up, and someone can come in first and get a quick $1,000 bonus, and we're going to start it, matter of fact, as of July 1st. Sean's calling Data Paradigm tomorrow to get the counter back up. We have rookie bonus. If you came in during the month of May, this is your rookie month. So the thing is, that would be a quick first goal. Hey, I want to get you in that top 5 of that rookie contest. Because I don't know what the car payment is, but there's a quick, $200 to $1,000. So help them get a goal. Number 4, not leading by example. Okay, if you get someone involved in the business and you've been in the business for 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 months, and you haven't gone through the 4-step process, you haven't got on any of the conference calls, you haven't booked any of the trips, it's pretty hard to get other people into action. See, in this business, we tell everybody, you want to create duplication. See, I'm looking for people that are like-minded, that are thinking like I am. And I may have to sift through 100 or 500 people till I find 1 or 2 that are like-minded. If you go out and interview all of the people that have become millionaires in this industry, they didn't make it off thousands of people they recruited. They made it off the 4 to 6 that went to work and said, man, I'm going to make this happen. Because that's all it takes. It's 4 or 6 like-minded that say, there is no, there's nothing stopping me. And boy, those are the fun ones to work with, because you'll call them 4 or 5 times, and all of a sudden you see their check going up, and pretty soon they're like, hey, thanks for calling me, Dave, but man, I got 3 3-ways going today. I'm helping my people. See, they don't need you anymore, and that's when it's great. You just keep patting them on the back when you see them at a meeting or a trip or a resort and saying, man, I appreciate you. Because with these matching codes and the comp plan we have, if they're having success, you're having success. So you want to lead by example. Look in the mirror. Are you what you want people duplicating? Because sometimes you're not. If you're not talking to people about Paycation, if you're not recruiting people, if you're not getting on the calls, that's not what you want to teach your people. And let me tell you, we teach them to duplicate, and they will. So are you an example you want people to follow? Number 5, not talking and living Paycation. Now, we got some phenomenal brochures, different flip charts, things in the Extreme Travel Store, in the Extreme Shopping Store. Apparel, you should be wearing the new shirts. Josh and Zach got some phenomenal new golf shirts. They're running a hat special we're fixing to run because it's summertime. Everybody that plays golf needs a hat. I go through probably 20 hats this summer because here in Texas you sweat a lot playing in the sun. So I'm going to make sure I got my Paycation hat on. So you want to look and breathe and live Paycation. When people come in your house, you have your brochures laying around, because when they look at that, especially our business, it's not like having a bottle of weight loss laying around. When you got a 5-star resort or these next trips coming up, if you just have a notepad there, can't wait for the celebrity cruise, can't wait for the Oasis Bahamas getaway, whatever, when you're talking to people, let them know what's going on with your business. See, a lot of people think they have to make time. In the beginning, they think they have to make time to do this business, but not with Paycation. See, if you're living it and talking it, there's nothing more fun to talk about than vacations. And so everybody already wants to have this discussion. They're either planning a trip or they want to plan a trip. And if they're not planning a trip, guess what? It's probably because they can't afford a trip. We have the answer to both of those problems. We have the solution. Not only can we get them better pricing, we can get them earning money to pay for it, and we can get them on it at the best price. So living, talking, breathing Paycation. Get your story, and if you don't have a story yet, you just tell the other stories you hear. Number 6. The big deal. And I've seen more people blown up over the big deal. When I hear people talking about the big deal, this is when I know they're like desperate. See, when I start hearing people say, gosh, I'm going to try to sign up all of the LA Fitnesses. I'm going to try to get all the title boxing people. I'm going to try to sign up IBM. Let me tell you how you get the big deal. You get the big deal by networking. See, anybody out there that's trying to go after those big companies and big groups like that, unless you know someone that's a decision maker, the odds are very slim. You're going to spend a lot of time and get very little results. You get the big deal by networking. Every time you talk to people and recruit people, it's who do you know. Even if they say no to the opportunity, you immediately get them into their new travel portal. But you're saying, who do you know? I'm looking for leaders in Dallas. I'm looking for leaders in Houston. I'm looking for people in Atlanta. There's no state or city, almost country, that you're not looking for a leader. So always ask, who do you know? I used to recruit people by asking them, who do they know? I'm looking for a leader that I can directly work with that might want to make some extra money or full-time money or full-time money, in Houston or Texas or wherever. And my reply a lot of times was, well, I'd like to make some extra money. What do you got? Boom, I hit them with the opportunity. So by meeting people, all of a sudden you might run into someone that their brother or their uncle or whoever runs a Lifetime Fitness, and they can get you in there to do a meeting. You get the big deal by networking and talking to people. So keep that in mind. Number 7, the answer. We get a lot of this at the home office. I know people are desperate when they think they have all the answers. Let me tell you, when you look at our leadership in the field, when you look at the International Diamonds, the Diamond Council, guys, these people have been around the block, okay? They've been in other companies. If it's out there, let me tell you, one of us have tried it. If it's run, I remember when we used to run ads, I used to know all the ads that worked and the ones that didn't. And then sometimes in a different market, sometimes a different ad would work because usually we have to, go spend $400, $600, $800 and run an ad in a paper. You got a little 2-inch by 3-inch ad. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have all the marketing tools we have now. But the thing is, we get people calling up, well, I think you should do this. Oh, I think if the match was a 400% match instead of a 100% match, let me tell you, the comp plan, I have worked on this comp plan literally for 14 years now, tweaked it, shifted a little bit, changed the percentage, brought it down from a 10-level matrix to a 7, beefed up levels 5, 6, and 7. We kept tweaking it until we found what was right. And now that we found what was right, the only thing we do is, like you heard me talking about meeting with the big MLM attorney firm here in Dallas, making sure our wording's right, making sure our pitch is right. And so when people start having suggestions on the comp plan, we got it, man. This thing's working. You just go to one of the meetings and look at the success stories. We don't need to tweak it. It's working. See, and when people got involved, when Donald Bradley and his team came to Dallas back in September of 2013, we didn't have all the stories. We didn't have everything working and clicking. We had just made the last tweaks to the comp plan. And their team was the first one to run with it, and all of a sudden, boom, success. And so now, think about it. You're 17, 18 months down the road. When people join today, it is so much easier because the stories have already been created. See, it's harder when you're having to create the stories. But once the stories are created, I used to tell people I'm a professional storyteller. And I said, you want to hear one? And I would just tell a success story about someone in my business. And that's why you want to get to know these diamonds out there. How are they making it? That's why you want to get to know these stay-at-home moms. You always want to have a story for the person you're talking to. If you're talking to a stay-at-home mom, a single mom, you want to be able to tell her the story about other stay-at-home moms or another single parent. If you know someone that's out of work or someone that's needing to make a car payment, tell them a story about someone that did that. Number 8, and man, this When I was at my peak in the industry as a trainer and master distributor, let me tell you, I used to, back then everything came in a cassette tape, so you just plugged it into your car and listened to it. I used to listen to the landmines at least once a month. I knew them by heart. But my mentor had done them, and I would plug them in and listen to them, because anytime my check started kind of coming to a stall, or anytime I started having some fallout in the downline, I knew either I had stepped on a landmine or people in my organization were stepping on a landmine. And this is the one I'm guilty of, and it's the one a lot of people and most successful people in this industry hit. It's called management mode or superstar. We talked about duplication. See, it's very easy, once you understand it, to get in front of the room and do the meeting. It's very easy to get caught up in the hype and start thinking you're a celebrity. And so what happens is you become the manager. You become, I've recruited enough people. I just need to get around the country. I just need to work with all of my people. I just need to do the meetings. Well, let me tell you something. The day you stop recruiting is the day your network will start in the wrong direction. It may not show it at first, but you always want to be looking for that next golden nugget. I don't care if you're making $1,000 a month or $200,000 a month. You're still looking for the next golden nugget. You're still leading by example. If you're going to do a meeting in South Carolina, see if you can't get someone to the meeting, even if you don't live there. You're always recruiting. You're always talking to business. Because let me tell you, if you get into management mode, what do? We teach our downline to duplicate. Before you know it, they're in management mode. I used to tell people to go to the meeting. If it's an hour presentation, get locked into your seat. Laugh at the jokes. I don't care if you've heard them the week before. Because if you get up and you're out walking around the hallway, you're out looking around, guess what? Your downline sees you. Guess what? The next week you'll see them out in the hallway walking around. So get plugged in, and I know it's fun. I know it's fun to be a diamond. I know it's fun to be hitting that new rank and everything. But let me tell you, every day you got to think, and you got to look in the mirror, and you got to look at your reports. Data Paradigm gives us almost any kind of report you want to go back there and create in your back office. Keep that goal, no matter how many meetings you're doing, no matter how many people you're out helping build. Keep that goal of how many you're going to recruit. I heard Shedrick White the other night on a call. Trey Harris and Shedrick White did a call last week, and it was great because here's Shedrick talking about we're halfway through the year, and he said, I think everyone should set a goal as if it's a new day you just joined. Go build your business. See, that's when your check really jumps. That's when your organization will really ignite. You know, when I hear Donald, and I hear Spencer, and I hear Mark Sterling, and I hear Jonathan Green, and I hear Chad Thompson, Ray Arnold. I was just at my first meeting since my surgery here in Dallas with Chad Thompson and Ray Arnold. Justin Beasley was here. Phenomenal meeting. Phenomenal meeting. I see these young guys, and I see the success, and I hear the stories. But the thing is, I was watching them. They're still recruiting. It's great to help other people recruit, achieve success, but you're constantly, you got to be thinking about who's my next prospect. I mean, because if you're a diamond, if you've got 15 people now, 20 people now, maybe one time you had 30 and you're back down to 18, set your goal between now and the end of the year. I want to have 100. You've got the story now. Let me tell you, do you know how much easier it is to recruit once you have the story? You know how many people want to be plugged into you? And by the way, when I say plugged into you, when you go to meetings, when you're in front of the room, you gotta present yourself with honor. You gotta let all the other diamonds, you gotta let the company know that if anybody in that room walks up to you and says, I'm getting started tonight, someone this is my first meeting. Your first question is, who sent you to the meeting? And if they say it was Jack Duncan up in Edmond, Oklahoma, great. What can I do for you? Let me answer your question so you can get signed up with Jack tonight. Don't ever say, why don't you come with me? If they say, can I come with you? You say, no, that's not the way we do business here. We do these meetings all over the world so that we help each other build a business and we build a legacy company. That's how you build a legacy company. So that I know if I send someone to Atlanta, and whether it be whoever's in front of the room, Shaniza, Ann Jones in Baltimore, if it's Tanya Mazdell out there in the Carolinas, if it's James Penn, whoever it is, I know for a fact. If I call and say, hey, what Jackie Pippin say last night? I already know what she said. I know she didn't hit him with anything new. She told the Paycation story. She told how to get into the system. So that's the key here. When I was listening to the meeting the other night, I knew it. But that's the key, is let them know, hey, I'm just here to help you build a business. I'm going to be back through town. There'll be other diamonds coming through here doing meetings. What you need to do is get signed up with the person that sent you to the meeting tonight. If someone comes up to you and they're already in another organization and they start talking about, can I get more support over there with you? Oh, that's not even an option. But I told Sean, stop the moves. It's not an option to move. There's someone in your upline that will work with you, especially with these codes we got. So please, 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 all of you out there doing meetings, God, I thank you every day, because it's like I said at the meeting the other night. I remember the days when it was just me and Mark. We could only do so many meetings. But remember duplication, as Mark and I, through Donald and through Spencer and through Mark Sterling and Jonathan Green and all of the ladies out there and all of the other diamonds out there and all the people that are having success. I look at the flyers today. Here's Jason Cross and here's Pastor Knott and here's all the people out there doing the meeting. That's duplication. Spencer the other day, I was on a call with him. He said, we need to write down the agenda for all these meetings. Write them down to exactly how do you start the meeting? What do you do the first hour? What do you do the second hour? What do you do the third hour? What do you do the fourth hour? So that not only do you know what's being said at the meeting, you know when it's being said. That's duplication. So if you find yourself in management mode right now, hey, it's okay. That means you're having success. But I'm asking you tonight, revamp your goals and say, you know what, I'm going to stay in management mode and I'm going to help a lot of people, but by golly, one of them is going to be me. I'm going to go sign me up some people. And then watch that check, watch that next rank come not only in division, but all of a sudden it becomes realistic and you're there. And the last one is when you hear someone with doubt, man, they have stepped on 2 or 3 landmines. They're done because they start doubting the comp plan. They start doubting the company. They start doubting the leadership. They start doubting the price on the trips. And pretty soon, they're doubting themselves. That's when they're really done. And so anytime you hear doubt from anyone in your downline, anytime doubt comes into your mind, think of the success stories that are out there, guys. Why is it some people may be telling the same message, the same story, but yet one of them is making thousands of dollars in Paycation, and the other one is barely struggling to get by? It's because one of them is telling it with conviction. One of them is telling it with enthusiasm. One of them is telling it from their heart. They believe. They're sold. They're all in. And the other one is still doubting and hoping it's going to happen and it's going to work. I'm telling you tonight, go all in. The writing's on the wall. Paycation will be a legacy company. It's going to be the one 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 30 years from now, people are going to look back and say, wow, I could have been in there. So-and-so talked to me in their second year, their third year, their fourth year. Have you heard some of the success stories from Paycation? Don't be one of the ones out there saying, I wish. Be one of the ones they're talking about. Manning. I am the CEO of Paycation. I so much appreciate and love each and every one of you. I want you all to be successful. I want us to work as a team. I want us to work as a family. And I want us to go out and help people change their lives for the better. Our goal is to do that and help more people walk away from corporate America than any other company. I'm going to start doing some training. I hope you'll load up the calls. I'm going to be at some of the big meetings out there. We're going to be doing some corporate meetings. If you see what's going on, get people to it. Let us help you build your business. So thanks for calling in. Thanks for taking time out tonight. Have a safe and happy 4th of July. And may God bless all of you and have safe travels this weekend. Thank you and God bless.